Greetings and welcome to Computerized Accounting. Let me introduce myself. My name is Mary Bryson and I'm an adjunct professor here at Helena College. My background? Well, I'm retired from state government, and since my official retirement, I periodically teach accounting classes at the college. I work part-time as an accountant consultant for a few small businesses. I've also used all of the software that we will be learning about in this class. Sometimes I use QuickBooks Desktop, and currently I use QuickBooks Online in my work. I am familiar with Sage 50, and although I have not used it in the workplace, I do know how it works. So what is computerized accounting? Well, let's talk about that a little bit. With the advent of computers, well before your time, I'm sure, accountants at all levels determined that we should automate the recording of our transactions. It simplifies our reporting by categorizing and summarizing the data that we enter. Computerized accounting does require us to do a lot of data entry, but I'm getting ahead of myself. If I think about computerized accounting versus manual accounting, what does that look like? Most of you are familiar with manual accounting as you've taken Accounting 101. You are familiar with the manual recording of transactions, the writing of checks, the posting to the various journals and ledgers. In accounting, we record a lot of transactions. Does the recording of that information change significantly within a computerized system? You've all studied the 9-step accounting cycle, and if we move to automating the cycle, does it stay the same? Well, I submit that there are some differences. We still need to analyze our transactions. We need to enter those transactions into the system, whether we enter them into the general journal, the sales journal, the purchase journal, cash receipts, or cash disbursements journal. We have to enter them somewhere. Do we maintain a bank register, like a checkbook? And how does that look in a computerized system? In a computerized system, if we are just entering these transactions, we might see only one side of that transaction. For example, we might write a check. Well, where does the information from that check go? How do we account for both sides of the transaction, the cash entry and the expense liability side of the entry? Do we really have double entry accounting? Are we going to see both sides in our computerized accounting system? Doesn't the entry have to balance? For example, debits equal credits, right? A lot of activity in a computerized system happens in the background or behind the screens. So we'll see more differences as we go along. For example, you might have difficulty locating the journals and the ledgers. The names are different in a computerized system. Each of the software packages that we will review in this class looks and feels different, but the basics are all the same. The recording of transactions is what is key to our accounting system. They all contain lists of some sort, whether it is a customer list or a vendor list. They have different forms, whether it's a purchase order or a sales receipt. They do maintain registers, and they do have reports. So we will see those differences as we use the software. This is a Moodle course, and it is an online course. If you found this file, you've been to the Moodle homepage. Let's take a look at that right now. You will see that I've set up the course by week. Over here on the left side of the page, you'll see each week listed as we go through the summer. Your assignments, your projects, your exams, the learning aids, all of those will be included in the appropriate week. I've uploaded the course syllabus. It's down here in the middle of the introduction page. And I recommend that you read through the syllabus carefully. It contains a lot of important information, including the grading scale. Let's take a look at that real quick. It's here on page 4. You can see there are tests, exercises, online quizzes, a paper, and 3 projects. There are 650 points available, and it's very important for you to work through the assignments each week and keep up with the course. Let's go to the course schedule at the end of the syllabus. And I apologize if this makes you a little dizzy as we go flashing, as I scroll through the syllabus that contains all of this detailed information to get to the back page where we have the schedule. Please note that I have set up each week that links to the Moodle course on the left-hand side. So this week starting on May 28th, that'll be today for you. I also have the chapter work. So here you can see which chapter we will be working on as we move through each of our texts. You'll see the work that is due, and it's usually related to the chapter that we did the previous week. And what is actually the due date for that assignment, and what is actually due as it relates for that assignment. As you can see, for most of these exercises, I'm only asking you to submit 1 or 2 of the required reports. For example, exercise 9.1 and 9.2, which is due on June 13th, I'm only looking for you to submit the balance sheet. Please don't submit all of the reports that the book requires associated with the exercise. As an aside, please note that on the very last page of your syllabus, you'll see the project requirements. Project 1 is for Sage 50, the desktop version for 2017. Project 2 is for the QuickBooks Desktop 2018. And Project 3 is for QuickBooks Online. I've tried to include the requirements on the assignment upload page in Moodle, so please check there when you get ready to submit your projects, as the requirements may have changed. Okay, let's go back to the PowerPoint now. Let's just talk a little bit about these different software packages. You will note that we are covering 3 different packages. There are 2 textbooks associated with the class. The first textbook is related to Sage 50. This is a selection of specific chapters from the official Sage 50 textbook that was used when the computerized accounting class only included teaching Sage 50. This is a selection of specific chapters, and we have determined that it is better to expose you to more than one specific computerized accounting software. So since we are covering 3 software packages, we've condensed what we will cover in the Sage 50 software. Our second textbook is for QuickBooks Desktop. We will use Computer Accounting Essentials with QuickBooks 2018. We're covering the 3 most common software packages used here in Helena, especially for small business. For the QuickBooks Online portion of the class, we did not get that textbook. It covers the same material as you will see in the other texts, and it's not summarized very well. It is also a comprehensive course by itself, so we'll be taking excerpts from that text. In each of these software packages, as we go through the computerized accounting class, you will find that we will be doing a lot of the same types of transactions. In fact, both Project 1 and Project 2 are for the same company with the same transactions, so there is a bit of redundancy. But we are using 2 different software packages to complete those projects, so you will find that your entering of the transactions, even though they're the same, will be done differently in each of the packages. We will be looking at primarily merchandising businesses and how they complete their sales and their purchases and how they track their inventory. That will be the primary focus in this class. Each of the software packages does look and feel different, and you will see some similarities between the desktop versions of both QuickBooks and Sage 50. But QuickBooks Online really is different. We're looking now at storing information in the cloud, and that's a change for the accounting software systems. Since these are accounting software packages, they do the same basic things. They record transactions for us, and then they report that financial information back to us. All of the summary is done in the background. It depends on how we have set up our accounting software to record transactions. You'll see in Sage that it truly is a double entry system, and in all likelihood we will see both the debit and the credit sides of the transaction. Whereas in QuickBooks, we won't see both sides of the transactions, unless we're entering a general journal transaction. Please know that the software is free to you as a student, and it will be available for the entire term. I also want you to be aware that since we're using the educational version, it is more sensitive to your operating system. So let me know quickly if you should run into any issues downloading and using any of the software. We shouldn't run into a situation where you're completing your homework and all of a sudden you find out that the software has expired and you're not able to use it anymore. So that concludes my introduction and welcome to computerized accounting for the summer of 2019. Here is my contact information for when and if you need to contact me. Mary Bryson, Instructor. My email is mary.bryson@helenacollege.edu. Email me with questions. I do intend to try and answer your emails within 24 hours, but I do work and have some personal things happening that do keep me busy. It's also summertime, so given the opportunity, we may take off for the weekend. I won't be reading emails over the weekend, so anything you send late on a Friday, I won't see until Monday. Contact me through email to set up an appointment. I do work outside of the college, but my schedule is flexible if we need to meet on campus. I'm focused on making sure that we get through this material in a positive way and you're adequately exposed to the computerized accounting software. I can now say thanks for your time, thanks for listening, and let's get started with computerized accounting. Head to your introduction page and start to complete those activities that are listed.